Two major incidents occurring in less than 3 months in the same area had left me questioning what is happening at the Tustin Legacy. You might have seen some of this coverage in the news. Let me show you what this area actually looks like. So I'm walking down the park that was built here in this very big expanse of what is now known as Tustin Legacy. You can see the skeletal remains of what used to be that hangar. That's the one that burned down back on November 7th. It's a shame to see it gone. It was a staple of this area. This is about as far as I'll be able to get from this angle. There were two structures that were standing here. These are World War II era hangars. Two of them. They were built like 80 years ago and they were made to build blimps. The other one is right over there. So that's the last one remaining. These are supposed to be owned by the Navy. I'll drive a little closer in a moment so you can see some of the developments that have been going up around it. But strangely, all this other space around here, as I'll pan to the left and right, is basically park space. Any other developments such as luxury apartments or business developments, because there were rumors that Amazon and Google were going to show up. COVID happened and that probably changed some of the plans because they never actually showed up. But all this area here was turned into a nice park. So over here to my left, you'll probably hear the airplanes overhead because I'm not far from John Wayne Airport, which serves as also another nearby destination of sorts. But over here we have some eateries, we have some functions for those that live around here, such as pet care and also gymnasium, some private parking. Some of these are ticketed during the weekend, they can be free, but there's this big old large park that people use to walk their animals or come take a jog, and it's a really nice park. But the backdrop has changed considerably and there were a lot of concerns when this hangar went down. See, the thing about the hangars, and this, for anybody who knows about construction would know that there's asbestos and lead for anything built pretty much before 1978, whether it was paint or some of the piping. And some of these had the concerns about the poisons that were in them. But so long as they weren't disturbed, you were technically okay. But the fire, when it started, raised concerns about having asbestos and lead in the air. The wind right now, I am facing due south, is pushing due north, and that was the concern because the winds were pushing north when the structure was on fire. And we're talking about asbestos and lead in the air. So there has been this contamination study has been done for, I guess, the last couple of months, the duration November, December into early January, until it was concluded that it was safe. The closest thing was a nearby park called Balboa Park, where there was some detection of asbestos, but not enough to be of concern. The thing is that because there was really many unknowns with all those toxins in the air, a lot of the schools in the area had to cancel for the next couple of days. I think there were some people that weren't reporting to work because of the toxin concerns in the air. I know some of my family was affected because the school had to close down for a little bit while all that contamination was clarified. But once it was detected and the flames were put out, I don't want to say they were put out, they kind of burned out at that point. 24 to 48 hours after that, it was determined that it was going to be safe to deconstruct the rest of the hangar. And what you see there is what remains of that hangar that went up in flames. I believe it was November 7th. But very curious that we don't have any information as to how the fire started. I was looking and researching over the past couple of days as to what was going on here, and it was brought even more to my attention yesterday because that explosion, we're going to drive by that area here in a moment, that transpired yesterday as I'm filming this. So today is February 21st on a Wednesday, around 1:15 p.m. local time on Tuesday, February 20th. There was an explosion on the other side of this, which had me asking more questions about what is happening in this area. No one's using these things, so why was there a fire? How did it start? Was it arson? And with the incident from yesterday and the FBI being involved, I have more questions. To what end? Is it because they wanted to develop this area? Do they want to put more housing here? Because the original plan went kaput? I think these are valid questions that should be asked. A lot of area around here to develop, but not with these historical markers. That's what these were. There's the skeletal remains of the last hangar that burned down. The explosion happened yesterday afternoon, where there was a heavy police presence. And also the FBI was involved here to, I don't know, I guess to question the individual. I know they have one suspect arrested. That's about as much as I know as of this recording. But it happened right across the hangars. I have a ton of questions because a lot of us felt that the hangar going up in flames was sabotage, some kind of arson, some way to get the interest to build around here. And I'm going to turn the camera around. So here's the access to the shops. To that area is being developed. That's being developed. At a distance, you'll be able to see the developments that are already completed. Then you'll see the hangars right over here. At least the hangar and the remnant of the other hangar. But to that side, as I recorded on driving over here, you saw the other development. Then you have all this other land. We're talking about acres and acres that could be developed. So that's why this area here being sectioned off for the investigation yesterday was, well, got a lot of questions. So yeah, there's a lot of happenings here. And if anyone has any curiosity or questions that lives in the area that's watching this, leave a comment down below. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about all this.